Hi, I'm Christy Burcham, Vice President of Training and Education for BERNINA of America, and I'm here to tell you about the BERNINA 485. Now, if you're not familiar with BERNINA, it is a Swiss company. It's been around since 1893 and it's family owned. Still in the now fourth generation, the fifth generation is part of the business, so we love being part of the BERNINA family, and we hope that you would like to be part of that family too. So to tell you about the B485, you can see that it is a full color touchscreen right on the front of the machine. It's really easy to operate. Everything just is a touch of the finger to change your stitch. And one of the things we love about BERNINA is we have what we call total stitch control. And that means that every single stitch on this machine, I can modify any single way that I want and get it exactly the way I want to do it. So if I've got a zigzag stitch and I want to change the stitch width, I just use these multifunction knobs. It's really simple to change the width and really simple to change the length. And I can do that with just a simple touch. And if I really like those settings, I can save them to my personal memory and use that stitch over and over again. If I'm working, I'm going back and forth between different types of stitches. If I go back to my straight stitch, and then I'm ready to go do some applique and go back to the satin stitch, when I go back to that stitch, the machine actually remembers those settings. So I don't have to write anything down or try to remember my stitch. We've got what we call it temporary altered stitch memory. So that's built right into the machine, makes it really easy for you to go back and forth between your favorite stitches. You also have about 200 decorative stitches built into the machine. They're in folders and they're really simple to select. With any of these decorative stitches, you have, again, that total stitch control to be able to mirror image them, to size them, to even elongate them. And you can also set a pattern repeat. So if I want to have maybe 3 of these little flowers right in a row, I can set that. When I go to sew it, the machine will sew 3 of those little flowers and just stop automatically. So let's actually do that. We can sew a couple different ways with this machine. We can sew with the foot control. This is the BERNINA foot control. It's a really special foot control because it has the back kick function. And what this back kick function does is when you put your foot and you kick back with your heel, the machine will take a half stitch. So it will go down or up depending on whatever position the needle's in. So we kick it again and the machine takes a half stitch. Really handy to switch your needle position. But you also can sew with the go button on the machine. So you can see the start stop button. We can just start. And now the machine's going to sew out those 3 little flowers. When it's all done, we can use the automatic thread cutter to cut that thread. And then we lift the presser foot, and there's our cute little flowers ready to go. Now these can be also changed just like every other stitch. So if I want to make them a little longer, play around with them, I absolutely can. This machine will do a 5.5 millimeter wide stitch. So you can see the width there of the feed dogs. You can do a 5.5 millimeter wide stitch and up to a 6 millimeter long stitch. So really a lot of flexibility with all of those different types of decorative stitches. There are different types of decorative stitches. There are alphabets built in for sewing alphabets, a number of buttonholes, and if you've never seen a BERNINA make a buttonhole, it really makes the prettiest buttonhole on the market. And there are also quilting stitches. So if you're a quilter, there are stitches that are set up to give you the perfect stitch automatically. One other thing about the BERNINA is that it has what we call adaptive thread tension. And what that means is it automatically adjusts the thread tension with every stitch. So as it's moving from stitch to stitch, different stitch types, it will adjust the tension for you. You never have to touch it. It just makes those adjustments for you. However, you can change it if you're working with a really decorative thread or something like that. You have the flexibility to do so. A few things that really make BERNINA special is that it has a DC motor. So that DC motor can really go through a lot of different layers of fabric. So we have a pretty heavy denim here that we're sewing with. And I'm going to switch back to a straight stitch, and we will do a straight stitch. We'll start with 2 layers of denim, and then what we will do is sink that needle and we're going to go up to 4. And cut the thread. And you can see how easily that machine just transitioned from the 2 layers of denim to the 4, went over that hump without any trouble. It doesn't have any trouble penetrating through that. And we can even go double that up to 8 layers of denim here, a nice heavy denim. Basically, if you can get it under the foot, you can sew it. And you can see what a great job that does, even with that 8 layers of that really heavy denim. So that DC motor gives you that penetration power to go through anything you're sewing. Now, if you're not one who sews jeans or clothes, if you're doing bags, a lot of people are into making bags lately, you can do all those layers of those bulk of all of that bag layers that you want to. And then a couple other things that really make the Bernina special is the great LED lighting. You can see what great lighting we have on the machine. And then probably the thing that always makes people go wow is the jumbo bobbin. So when you take a look at this bobbin, it's a really easy pop out system, and you can take a look at how big that bobbin is. So you're sewing longer without interruption. So it holds about 70% more thread than a regular bobbin. So one thing you can kind of think about it is it'll actually hold about 200 meters of thread, almost a whole spool of thread you can fit on here. So that jumbo bobbin, we have that in our 4 series machines all the way up to our 8 series machines, and it really makes it easy. You can see how easy it is to insert the bobbin. We have a great free arm with this machine that bobbin goes right into, so if you're working on tubular things, you've got everything that you need to go. So that's the 485 in a nutshell. Of course, it does a lot more, but we just want to show you the highlights of this machine. And you can actually find this machine on meissnersewing.com, and you can take a look at it there, and you can actually purchase it right there on the website. So thanks for joining me, and have a great day.